Have you ever killed anybody?
No, thank God. My children asked me that. And I told them very proudly that I have never taken any action that resulted in the death of another human being.
There's one kind of half exception.
And I think about this all the time. In 1993, I guess it was, I was sitting in the morning meeting. I told you earlier that every unit meets every day at 9 o'clock, and you just talk about what happened in the country that you cover overnight. I was in the morning meeting, and the secretary came in, and she said, John, General Powell is on the phone for you. Call him Powell. I said, General Powell? How does he know who I am? And she
said, I don't know, but he asked for you by name.
My boss is like, well, go answer the phone. So I went to my desk, and I said, good morning, General Powell. This is John Kariaki. And he says,
John, if the Iraqis were going to kill the president, who would actually be in charge of that operation?
And I said, well, if you're talking about the attempt to kill President Bush, George H.W. Bush, he had been visiting Kuwait. I said, Kuwait operations are run from the Iraqi intelligence service's Basra station. But Basra station is headed by Sabr Abdulaziz Adori, the director of the Iraqi intelligence service.
He says, where does he sit?
I said, Baghdad.
Where exactly in Baghdad?
I said, if you hold on a second, I'll look up the address. So I looked it up. I gave him the address. He says,
thank you. And he hangs up the phone.
I go back in the meeting. They were like, what do you want? I said, he wanted to know about Sabr Adori and the attempt to kill President Bush. I'm like, okay.
8 hours later, we fired 47 cruise missiles into Iraqi intelligence service headquarters.
But by then it was the middle of the night in Baghdad.
And we killed the janitor.